lovers, and welcome to the Liberty Mike podcast, broadcasting from an undisclosed location in the heart of Dixie. I am Michael, and I am here with Liberty Larry.
How's it going?
And Mrs. Liberty Larry. She doesn't have a microphone.
Yeah, she's not mic'd up, but if we get to talking about healthcare stuff, she might pipe in.
Yeah. You hear this distant voice in the background telling us we're idiots.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So how you coming through the government shutdown?
Is the government shut down?
Government is shut down. Your family all right? Is everybody?
I hadn't even noticed. I guess it's a good thing I went to the Tetons in Yellowstone, though, a couple of weeks ago.
While it was open?
Yeah.
So do they really barricade all of that up? I mean, I know they had.
There's no way. I mean, there's only a few roads in, though, so.
I mean, in the past, they've done stuff like that.
Yeah.
Trying to make it difficult trying to make you hate the government being shut down.
I mean, the places where they have, like the house or shacks or whatever, where they take your money going in and out, though, they're in like pretty open spaces. Like worst case scenario, take a 4-wheel drive vehicle. Imagine if they try
get
and
there.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't see how they can keep you out of these thousands and thousands of acres.
Right.
It'd be pretty tough, it seems to me.
Yeah.
Even with only a few roads in and out.
Yeah.
So now you can go for free, I suppose.
I suppose.
If you want. But they won't have staff there to tell you to stay away from the bison and the bears and so forth. You'll have to have some common sense.
I was going to say, you have to look that up before you go.
Yeah.
What animals can I pet and which ones can I not?
The answer is you can't pet any of them.
Well, you can, you just shouldn't.
Well, okay. Fair enough. It's a bad idea to try to pet any of them.
There you go. That sounds better. Yeah.
Your best bet is probably a wolf.
Oh, yeah. That's the best pet.
Yeah. The rest of them, I mean, at least wolves are social.
Yeah, and it may pity you and be like, oh, look at this idiot trying to pet me.
Look at this poor naked ape.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm going to let it live.
Yeah. Lick its hand.
Yeah.
Doesn't taste that great. Moving on.
Yeah, exactly. There's plenty of other things to eat out here.
Yeah, I find it really interesting that this government shutdown thing is a threat.
Well, I think that a lot of people are kind of making the same realization that we are, that maybe we just don't need government to do these things after all. Yeah. They may not make the leap to libertarianism where we don't need government at all.
Yeah.
But maybe we don't need these elements of the government.
No, they try and make it so that it just becomes an inconvenience at places where you can't avoid the government. Like, oh, well, now you got to show up 4 hours early for your flight because there's not enough TSA to process security at the airports and things like that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the main thing is like, what about all those poor government employees that aren't getting paid?
Yeah. Well, if that was part of the private sector, they'd be paid.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, maybe they should go get a productive job.
Right. Well,
maybe it's time to go get a productive job. Although they did furlough like half of the IRS the other day.
Well, and it was kind of funny watching the mainstream media like make this sound like a bad thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, man. I think taxation is theft, so I'm kind of okay with this. Like,
yeah. Well, the next big tax due day is October 15th, right?
Is it? Yeah. I don't know.
So the main one's April 15th, but like the extensions are generally 6 months.
Yeah.
So the next big date is October 15th.
Yeah.
So now you can turn in all kind of crap, I imagine.
All right.
Not have to worry too much about it being audited.
Yeah.
I had a professor when I was in high school that said that you always wait till like April 13th or 14th to turn in your taxes.
Really?
Because everybody like turns it in at the last moment. And so the chances of you being audited when you're turning in your taxes with everybody else is like really low.
Well, you don't turn it in and then they audit it later or anything like that? Or how does... I don't know how any of that works.
They do, but like they have such a rush.
That's when the flood is.
Yeah.
Because you'd want to turn it in during the flood, so... Yeah.
Exactly. My cat is trying to move from the chair next to me into my lap.
Oh.
And I keep trying to push her away, and so then I just feel her little wet nose on my hand.
No.
Nope. Stop. Stay there. You're in a good place. Stay there. I don't know where to start exactly. Like, what is the appropriate order to approach the things that I want to talk about?
Yeah. Just jump on in. Both feet.
Dive on in. Okay. Well, I think this is where we start. Is with this PBS NPR Marist poll that they asked Americans to agree or disagree with this statement, which was Americans may have to resort to violence in order to get the country back on track.
Yeah.
And we have really good mics, so
probably watch that.
yeah. And so they're comparing the differences in answers. They divided it by political party, which means that it was Republican, Democrat, or Independent.
Yeah.
They don't. If you're not a Republican or a Democrat, you don't really matter.
You're just You're not part of the two-party system.
Yeah. And they were comparing the results from doing this poll in March of 2024 and now September of 2025, or last month.
Yeah.
And there was a huge increase in the percentage of Americans that agreed with that statement that they may have to resort to violence to get the country back on track.
Yeah.
So overall, it went from like 20% to 30%. So almost a third of Americans think that violence is inevitable.
Yeah.
In order to fix things.
this mess we're in.
Now the Republicans were still more likely to agree. Their percentage went from 28 a year and a half ago to 31% now.
Yeah.
The biggest difference was with the Democrats, who went from 12% agreeing a year and a half ago to 28% agreeing now.
Wow.
And so I started to think more and more about this, like the prospects of like maybe we're in a cold civil war.
Yeah.
And I think there are like some huge divisions. I think we're more divided now than we were before the Civil War. But the issue, the primary issue for people before the Civil War was one that's like really intractable on both sides, right?
Yeah.
Like the morality of owning people.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the war may have really been about states' rights, but what motivated people to get involved was...
Yeah. Well, it was about the states' rights to be able to own slaves.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you want your... I mean, at the end of the day, it is states' rights, but like the states wanted to do something that was inherently immoral.
Right. And part of the country agreed that it was immoral, and part of the country didn't.
Yeah.
But there's no middle ground on that.
Yeah.
Like there's no like partial slavery state or or anything like that. So it was a really intractable issue.
Yeah.
And I think that there's more issues that divide us now. And so I started to think like what are the intractable issues?
Yeah.
Like, are there intractable issues in this? And I think the main one is the trans thing.
Yeah.
I mean, abortion could be too, but abortion's kind of been there for a while. I mean, like it's...
Yeah, and abortion can be settled through what we have now, where states can just kind of
pushing it back to the states.
Yeah, pushing it back to the states, I kind of feel like, at least in some ways, puts that issue to bed. Mm-hmm.
Well,
but the trans thing, it's the left different though.
Sure, but like back to the abortion thing, the left is less intractable, I think, than the right on the abortion issue.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't seem that way, but the right believes it's murder. There's no middle ground on murder.
Yeah.
And the left thinks that it's men trying to control women's bodies for the most part, it seems.
That seems to be the argument. Yeah.
And so if you push it back to the states, then they're like, well, I'm just going to live in a state that doesn't try and control me. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I guess that works, even though they're offended on behalf of the women that live in states there does seem to be a misunderstanding on that. Like, okay, for you women out there that are opposed to abortion and think that it's just men trying to control women's bodies, you realize that roughly half of the people that are opposed to abortion are also women, right?
Yeah, well, there's that.
I mean, it's less than half, but it's close.
Yeah.
This is definitely more of a political issue than a gender issue.
Yeah.
The trans thing, though, again, you got one side that believes that it is child abuse to not permit transitioning in these children, and the other half that believes it's child abuse to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, there's no middle ground on child abuse.
Yeah. And
I mean, this is an intractable issue. This is an issue that you can never find like a peaceful.
I also, though, don't think that it's where abortion, I feel like, I hadn't looked at the polls, but I feel like abortion's more of a 50-50 issue, like across the country, that it's more split evenly. I don't feel like trans, and like I said, I hadn't looked at the numbers, so I don't know. I could be off base here, but I just feel like that's not really a 50-50 issue. I feel like there's more people on the side that it's child abuse to do that than it isn't. Even if you're a Democrat, because I know plenty of Democrats that would not agree with some of that. Mm. So I don't know. I that is kind of just using my own information, though. I hadn't seen legit polls on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't answer that.
No, but I just feel like you're definitely that affects kind of how things play out, though. Mm-hmm. As far as that particular issue.
Yeah. And of course, we've discussed over and over again that the centralization of power has made it such that every 4 years, half of the country feels like they're being oppressed.
Yeah.
And it flips from time to time, which half of the country thinks that they're being oppressed.
Right.
And there's some good reason to believe that. For example, Trump just signed a national security or issued a national security presidential memorandum, which the news seems to be reporting like it's an executive order, but it's not. Like it's essentially a statement of policy for the Justice Department, and Homeland Security and so forth, which I actually think is part of the Justice Department, but I can't remember for sure, so I'm going to name that out there. But anyway, the law enforcement wing of the executive branch, that is identifying a wide range of left-wing positions and anti-government positions, so we fall in there too. Actually, we fall into some of the left-wing positions also because we're not hard partisans. But as signals that the people that hold these positions are a threat to the state.
And I wish we were.
And if only I could threaten the state. Of course, that like this is totally partisan. This memorandum. So there's good reason for the left wing to believe right now that they're being oppressed. And of course, before this, it was hard for the right wing to ignore that the Biden administration, or not just the Biden administration, but the Democrats generally, were doing everything that they could to prevent Donald Trump, the front runner on the right, from even running for president. Using the legal system to try and prohibit him from running for office.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's hard not to look at that and think, well, I mean, this is politically targeted to take away our candidate. Not our candidate from me. I didn't vote for him.
One side's candidate.
So I don't know. It's like the divide just keeps getting deeper and deeper. And I know that we've talked about, like, I fell down a hole on this. And we've talked about a few things that were a cause of it. One of them being just the centralization of power at the federal level. Creating this feeling that if your party's not in charge, then you're being attacked. We've talked about the infringements on free speech by both parties as being a part of this too, like leading to violence potentially, because if you can't express your ideas openly, you're not given a lot of options.
Yeah. I mean,
like what else
any
is there?
speech you force down becomes violent. It just in its nature.
And so, at the root of that is if I can't express my opinion openly, then what other choice do I have?
Yeah.
But like in relation to that, I fell down this rabbit hole about education.
Yeah.
And I just came across a bunch of disturbing studies about the students' abilities to read and write.
Okay.
And why I think this is relevant is, like, if you can't express your opinion openly because of free speech, it's not really different than I can't express my opinion because I'm not verbally capable of either speaking it or writing it down.
Or putting it,
Yeah, if I can't articulate
so much
the
of
idea.
our speech now is done online anyway.
Yeah.
At least on platforms like Twitter and whatnot. I mean, you got, I guess, TikTok where you get to talk it out, I guess. But
yeah, but I don't know. Like, you get texts today. It's all, there's no real nuance in any of this anymore. And so if you can't express yourself verbally, then I don't know, some cat took off from somewhere.
A lot of distractions tonight.
Yeah, really. If you can't express your thoughts or feelings effectively verbally, that could also lead to a rise in violence because there's you don't have an alternative way of expressing your
feel like
dissatisfaction.
You can't make your arguments properly, so you automatically go to and you see that a lot anyway. Especially like I for a while, even before he was shot, I watched a lot of Charlie Kirk's videos where he'd go to these campuses and take on the college students. And you'd see it all the time. I mean, it always would devolve into name calling at some point because once students were confronted with a strong pushback, they realized that they didn't have the arguments, that they didn't have the information and know how to argue these points. And so that's always where it heads after that.
Then it's name calling and
exactly.
Well, you're a Nazi.
Exactly. And so education is important to this, and it's college students should be the most educated of young people. And to watch some of those videos, you would not believe that.
Well, so I came across this one particular study that was done at two major Midwestern universities. They didn't name them, but I mean, think like Indiana and the Ohio State or something like that, right? Like major Midwestern universities.
The Ohio State?
I said it.
I know you did.
My sister-in-law graduated there.
That's fine.
So they tested English lit majors.
Okay.
All 4 years, freshman through senior. They had 85 people in the study.
Okay.
And they gave them all the first, I don't remember, 7 to 10 paragraphs of Dickens' novel Bleak Street, I think was the name of it. It's not one that I'm familiar with.
That was probably the idea, right? Is give them something that that's at least a little more obscure.
Yeah, something that they didn't do in high school.
Exactly.
Although that's kind of an issue too. We'll get to that also.
We'll circle back.
But I'm like, I kind of get this. I'm not a fan of Dickens. I think he's boring.
Yeah.
He's overly wordy and he's boring, and I get it. But I feel like I could have done better than this when I was entering college. And of those 85, they only tested 4 that they assigned to be proficient, or proficient was the middle ranking. I can't remember what they called the top ranking, but the top ranking in ability to read of the 3, they only had 4 out of 85
that were better than proficient.
Yeah. And 58% were not proficient.
Wow. So a majority then were not even proficient.
Yeah, almost a super majority.
Yeah.
Were not proficient readers. And it was kind of incredible, like the way these students were explaining this thing. So the idea was to read it and then
Give us
essentially rewrite it in modern language.
Oh, okay.
All right. So you're just supposed to express the same things that Dickens expressed in a way that, like
maybe less wordy.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe that's why they chose Dickens.
But they had, people that couldn't tell the difference between literal and figurative language. So, for example, there's this part where he's talking about the mud, at the docks in London. Or I guess it wasn't London, maybe. That he probably moved down the river at that point. I didn't read this, so I mean, I read the study, but I didn't read the book.
Yeah.
But that the mud was like the deluge had just receded, and it wouldn't be a wonder to see a megalosaurus wandering up the street, up the hill, 40-foot elephantine body, and so forth. And it was the end of Michaelmas term. Or Michaelmas term just ended, and the Lord Chancellor was sitting in the inn, and et cetera. And these students were reading this like Michaelmas term wasn't a period of time; it was a person's name. Michaelmas was their first name, and term was their second name. And Lord Chancellor wasn't a title; the guy's name was Lord, and his last name was Chancellor. And that they were walking with a dinosaur up the hill. And like they couldn't tell the difference. This was just like figurative language to try and explain. It was
that. I mean, that is kind of astounding, considering that these are like English majors.
Yeah, and they were told they could look anything up that they needed to.
So they were
and
unrestricted. So they didn't have. They
absolutely.
weren't. Yeah,
absolutely. But they would come across terms that they didn't know, and they would just guess at them. Like they wouldn't even bother to look it up. And
man, like part of me like hopes that maybe these students just didn't take the study seriously.
Well,
I mean, that's the only thing you can hope for, right?
I mean, you would.
Like,
if nothing else,
that's astounding.
For me, I just wouldn't want to look foolish.
Yeah, well, and you've got to believe that the people in the study would think that way.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, but that's insane.
But and they didn't ever express an actual percentage. But it was seeming like listening to the commentary by these professors and so forth. And this is outside of the study, by the way. Okay. This is just like other commentary.
Yeah.
That probably close to a quarter of incoming freshmen had never read a whole book.
Oh, wow. Really?
That the primary and secondary education is moving away from whole book assignments. That they don't do complete books anymore because the standardized tests. They're teaching to the tests. Because everything's about like how their students score on the standardized tests. So instead of teaching whole books, they're giving them short informational passages and asking them to answer questions about the passages, like on the standardized test, where you get the like 3 paragraphs and half a dozen questions about it.
Yeah.
And of course, you don't learn to read that way because I'm a good reader. I love reading, and I have for a very long time. But when I took those tests, I read the questions first, and then I find the answers in the passage.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's how they train you to take those tests.
Yeah, like, it's the only thing that really makes sense.
Yeah, like, why would you not do that? Like,
now, you could do it differently today on computers. So you could actually like give them the passage on the screen, have them read it, and then take the passage away to show the questions.
That's true.
I mean, that like if you wanted to make them like read the passage and try and recall the answers.
Information.
Yeah. But
that would make sense.
I was helping your oldest daughter with reading a long time ago.
Yeah.
When you guys first moved out there, I was doing a reading homework thing with her, and it was just like, how many words can you read from this paragraph or 2 paragraphs or whatever in a minute? So I was like timing and counting the number of words that she got through. And I remember when she finished it, I said, okay, now what did you read? She had no idea.
Yeah, because it wasn't geared towards comprehension. It was geared towards speed reading.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because I remember that, and I remember thinking, I was like, well, I hope like we're doing comprehension too. Maybe this was just like speed reading and comprehension comes later, or is in another assignment.
That's backwards.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
from how you would teach it.
Yeah. You teach people to read and understand what they're reading, and then you can learn to read fast later, like once you get all that. Another big part of it, according to a couple of studies that I read, was the method that they use to teach. reading, which is mostly it kind of goes back and forth, but the big fad over the last century roughly is the see and say method, or a whole word recognition, reading by recognition instead of reading by phonics.
Yeah.
And there's strong evidence that actually causes what do you call it when you flip letters?
Oh, dyslexia?
Yeah, it actually causes dyslexia.
Really?
That people that are taught to read by phonics don't get dyslexia.
Because they train their eyes to start at the beginning and work through it?
Yeah, that's a big part of it, and they can learn new words that way.
Yeah.
So the people that are taught to read by recognition, like when they come across a new word, they can't process it after a certain period of time. Like their brain automatically goes to, I either recognize it or I don't.
Yeah, and if I don't, move on.
Yeah,
maybe I can get it out of maybe I can get it out of context.
Yeah, maybe. I'll just guess at the meaning and I'll go with that the rest of the way.
Yeah, which would go to our study that we've been looking at here.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but there's good evidence for this. So why haven't we changed?
Yeah.
And
because we're teaching towards the test. I mean, you said it at the beginning. Like
that's
idea.
Part of it. The thing to remember is that education reformers, or I don't want to say education professionals because that makes it sound like I'm talking about teachers in general, but people that design curricula.
Yeah, yeah.
They have their own agendas. And in some cases, at least, it's clearly not related to actually educational exceptionalism.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Or excellence.
Yeah.
You know, and it seems like, so this, one of these literacy ideas is critical literacy. Okay. So we've talked about critical theory for a few years now, this thing in education that's the Marxian form of educating people, or to recognize Marxism anyway, recognize power structures and so on and so forth. And that's really the goal. Yeah. And it's the same kind of thing with critical literacy here. So they're learning to, like, this is their own definition, by the way.
Okay.
I'm paraphrasing a bit here, but I promise
But the context, it's all there.
Is learning to read and write as part of the process of becoming conscious of one's experience as historically constructed within specific power relations.
Yeah.
So this comes out of Paulo Freire a little bit. So it's like the followers of Paulo Freire, and I've talked about him before. He wrote Pedagogy of the Oppressed.
Okay.
That I talked about on the podcast before. So his followers are kind of the developers of this idea, and trying to read my note here at the same time. And his idea was really about educating people in such a way that they don't rise above.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to educate people to not
he was trying to educate revolutionaries. He was trying to educate proletariat into eliminating the power structures, but not replacing the power structures with themselves.
Gotcha.
All right.
I mean, that makes sense.
But he was, and some of his ideas I liked actually as I went through this book. Now, it was
kind of authoritarian.
No, not exactly. I mean, he was coming up in Brazil in a time where it was authoritarian, and he was promoting a more democratic
solution.
Yeah, way of life, I guess, really.
Yeah.
But it's the goal of this way of teaching literacy is really like a specific kind of Marxian social awareness.
Okay.
Over reading and writing skill.
Yeah.
And I know I haven't talked about writing very much here, but I think the base of writing is reading.
Yeah.
You become a good writer by reading a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's other ways to get there, but primarily you read other writers, and that's how you learn to write. You know? And so I don't exactly hold Paulo Freire responsible, because he was also talking about educating adults, like illiterate adults, that were just laborers.
Yeah.
But they've taken these ideas and applied them to teaching children to read as they grow up.
Yeah.
As they're maturing.
Yeah.
And I think it's been ineffective. I think it's provably ineffective.
Yeah.
I suppose. And I think that this can lead to further violence, just because if they're not capable of expressing themselves effectively, they don't have a lot of choices of getting their feelings known.
Yeah.
And it is all about feelings,
Well, at the end of the day, that's what drives most people. It's not logic, it's feelings.
So, and back to the presidential order. I mean, this is just more of the same. So we've had this problem for a while now, and that's the global war on terror, which has been a disaster anyway. But the global war on terror is essentially over. And so all these forces that we've built up and these careers that have been built up as part of the war on terror, and these industries that have built up around it and so forth, they're just all seeking a new target.
Yeah.
All right. And so Trump's in office, so he's targeting Antifa and Antifa-like organizations, or foreign immigrants, or gangs, MS-13, Trende Aragua.
Yeah.
Got it right that time, I think.
Yeah. Don't you miss the good old days where it was just Crips and Bloods?
Yeah, no kidding.
I could pronounce that.
And the folk.
Yeah. All right.
So, they're all looking for a new target, and it's getting turned internally. Yeah. I mean, as we always knew that it would.
Yeah.
That eventually these military establishments, if they run out of foreign conflict, then they turn it internally, because you can't just dismantle the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so you
or
just
even
find
if
a
you
new
don't
target.
run it out of external, like it at some point some leader rises up and is like, well, I can use this here.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like we found that guy. Like,
well, I mean, he's not the first.
No, well, obviously, but
I mean, he's not even the first president.
But
he's just it's just naked with him.
Well, that's what I was fixing to say. Is it's just as blatant as it could be.
Yeah. And that it's like a lot of these positions that he identified as making you potentially a threat to the state are just kind of boilerplate modern left-wing positions.
Yeah.
So, it's one half of the country being at war with the other half of the country.
Yeah. And this side has decided to use the military apparatus. I mean, he's openly talked about using the actual military.
Yeah, he has. Well, at that meeting that we talked about last week, he was saying, well, I talked to Pete about, maybe we just turn our troops loose in some of these bad cities. And
our training
grounds.
Training grounds is what
Yeah.
Like, if that doesn't scare you, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, and it is hard though, because I understand where some of the right wingers come from, as far as like some of these cities have gotten out of control. But at the end of the day, that's like San Francisco, Chicago, like some of these places are real problems and have real issues, but it's up to the leaders of those cities to figure that out.
Yeah.
It's not that sending in the National Guard isn't the answer.
Well, and your concern now is that if you're an elected official in these places, your concern now is that the affluent people that are your tax base
are going
to
leave. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's happening in so many of these places.
Right.
So like New York is a big one. People are just fleeing,
And that should be
Mondami's going to move in and then not let them leave. A lot of them are like, better get out while I can.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think that's a serious thing, but I mean, it's came up.
Well, I mean, that's what's happened in that's what happens in socialist countries.
Yeah. We can't let you leave.
Like it's such a disaster that, the people that are well-to-do want to get out, or the people that are capable of being well-to-do want to get out, and you can't let them out.
Yeah.
Because then what do you have left? You just got a bunch of roving gangs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
My hope here. It's man, like pining for first term Donald Trump, where he was just ineffectual.
Yeah.
Now it's like there's no limits, and we talked before about. I think that he just doesn't understand what the rules are.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't. I mean, he's not breaking any more rules than any of the rest of them, but he doesn't know how to dress it up.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, he's just very naked with his plans.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate.
I do too. I think
makes it easier to combat.
Well, maybe
it should. But the problem is the problem that there always is. Like, even if you know what the problem is and you can want to do something about it, there's nothing you can. I mean, ultimately, he's not running for office again, so he doesn't have that hanging over his head.
Is he not?
Apparently not. We'll see. I mean, there's been talk of that as well.
Yeah,
but
I mean, the news told me that he was never going to leave.
Yeah. Well, and maybe he won't. Like, maybe this is all the groundwork for him staying. I've heard that argument be made.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the best argument against that, obviously, is that he left after the first term and he didn't even think he was actually defeated.
Yeah. Well, and that's 100% it right there. Like I say, if he was staying, he would have done it in the first term.
Yeah.
Because he was pissed about that.
I am tired of him talking about Biden, though. Like, come on, man. It's over. He's gone.
Yeah,
like,
he can't
let
help
it go.
He cannot...
quit kicking the man. He's down. He's down.
Right? He's already dead. He's already dead. Yeah.
But my hope here is that that this is that the way this is playing out with Trump here just reminds everybody of the dangers of the presidency anyway.
Yeah.
That maybe it pushes the left back to the liberal positions that I used to appreciate that they held.
Well, that would be nice. I would like I'd like the left to have at least some principles that I could stand behind.
Yeah.
Or that I appreciate. Because as we stand here in 2025, they don't exist.
Yeah. They're not for free speech. They're not for civil liberties. They're not anti-war.
Not anti-war. Like, there's nothing. And I remember a time where they were all of those things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can go back to that. And that's what it's going to take for them to win another election.
Well, that's definitely true.
I mean, they're going to have to pick up a couple of those monikers at least.
So who do you think they're going to run in 2028?
If I'm looking at the field right now, it's going to be Newsom. I may be an outlier. I think somebody else is going to rise to the occasion. Though.
Yeah. You don't think it's going to be Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez?
I think she may run as well. I think.
Yeah,
but
okay.
who do I think is going to win?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would say
who's the Democrat Party going to put up?
It's Newsom.
That's really the question.
It's going to be
because the primary doesn't mean anything in the Democrat Party.
Yeah, it's going to be Newsom unless somebody else rises up and there's a dark horse, which I still think that there will be.
Have you noticed the license tags around here are A0C?
Oh no, I haven't. But
okay,
I'll
they're appearing all over. You'll notice it now.
Yeah, I will.
My mom's convinced that that's like
subliminal messaging.
Yeah, that's a play that the Democrat Party's making to have all these AOC tags everywhere.
Yeah. In South Alabama, like that. This is where AOC is going to make her mark.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I don't see it.
People are pretty easily influenced. Like if you see that over and over and over again for the next 2 years.
Well, the media
3 years, whatever,
is a prime example of that. That's the reason you get all of those supercuts of them all repeating the same marching orders. Because if you hear it enough times from enough places, like your brain or ape brains just kind of like adopt it.
Yeah. I mean, I pointed out to her that there's A0B and A0D too. So this is just like a new.
It is quite the coincidence, though.
Yeah. I mean, I do see more A0C than anything else, though, but it's probably just because of where we are.
Yeah. Sure.
But I thought that was
funny.
Talk about conspiracy theories. Like, that's a good one.
I like it.
She's like, yeah, what if that's in all 50 states? Like,
Hey, maybe it is.
Just throwing those out everywhere for people to see for the next 3 years.
Well, I mean, it could be a targeted ad. I mean, they could be targeting South Alabama for some reason.
Yeah, to waste money.
Maybe.
Of course, we're all paying for those tags, so
Yeah. So whose money are they really wasting?
right. Whoever they bribed to get it,
Yeah.
to get it out there, somebody's money got wasted on the bribe.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
as long as we're doing predictions, who are you looking at in 2028 for the Democrats?
I think you're right. Probably like Newsom's the guy. He's certainly making the play for it. He's the best known nationwide, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's necessarily a good thing for him.
It's not. I mean, he's going to have to. I mean, his record in California is just atrocious.
Yeah.
Like, it's really hard to get past that.
But he talks the talk.
He does. I
Like,
mean,
he's a politician.
He's a
through and
sharp
through.
politician.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, he puts his foot in his mouth sometimes, but not at the level that AOC does.
Yeah.
Gosh, she just really needs to close that big mouth of hers. Like, every time she talks, she sounds like a moron.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. I think right now, if I had to guess, I would say that Newsom was the guy.
Yeah. I would say Newsom, but I think that I'm still more in the camp of dark horse.
Yeah, I think that that's more. Somebody's going to rise up between now and then.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to be Mom Donnie. Maybe
Who
he's
knows?
going to totally convert New York, and it's going to be like a
Well, he doesn't have a lot of time.
Paradise
I mean,
on
he
Earth.
only has to have a few months, really,
where it goes well.
where it goes well in New
Yeah.
York to transition that to a presidential campaign.
That's true. That's true.
And I mean, the pendulum swings hard both ways, so there's nothing to say that it couldn't happen.
Yeah. You think Vance for the Republicans?
I think so.
Like that's the natural transition, right? Like
yeah,
vice
exactly.
president to president.
Yeah. And I'm not a big fan of that. I wish it would be. I think he'll get primaried by somebody strong, though.
Maybe.
I hope it's Massey.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, probably not. But who knows, man? Like, stranger things have happened. Like, now would be the moment, like, to get that libertarian Republican candidate.
Yeah.
To like I said, we had that Ron Paul time. Like Massey would be the one.
Yeah. You think Rand runs again?
I doubt it. I just don't. I don't see it. I mean, maybe it's possible, but I just don't. I don't know that he wants that. I could be wrong.
Well, back to the main topic.
Yeah.
I hope that this like naked authoritarianism, militarization of the country is enough to like push the Democrats back into a liberal position that I appreciated.
Yeah.
Even if I don't agree with all that they have, like, even if I don't agree with their economics, it would be nice to see them supporting like actual civil liberties.
Well, it's interesting kind of traveling through time as a libertarian because like I remember there was a time where like I supported Democrats a lot stronger than I supported Republicans, like all through post 9/11. Like if I was going to vote party, it was and like non-libertarian, it was going to be Democrat.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's worth pointing out is that this isn't new with Donald Trump. I mean, the authoritarianism, the slide into authoritarianism in this country started with 9/11. Yeah. Actually, it probably started earlier than that, but that's when the move started being made really strongly.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so it's been all the presidents since then. Yeah. Bush, Obama, Biden, Trump, like they've all played a part in this.
Exactly.
The legislation or excuses, the justifications, that's probably the word I should use. Yeah. The justifications that Trump's using to do these things that are so awful were put in place by prior presidents. They're not new positions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I remember screaming at Republicans about the Patriot Act.
Yeah.
That's
what got me into politics.
Exactly. For good reason, because it was that bad. So like I say, but it's just interesting kind of being a libertarian and waffling from side to side to side, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the other hope is that this wakes up Republicans that were supporting Donald Trump too. to say, wait, then this isn't what I wanted here.
Yeah.
Like,
and in many ways it has. I mean, I don't know so much that this particular issue, because that's the other thing, though, is like I was saying earlier, a lot of these cities are in such shambles. Like, it is hard to, like, obviously I don't appreciate the solution, but there's an argument to be made. Well, at least he's doing something.
Yeah. And you can make the argument that law enforcement is a responsibility of the President of the United States.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's, and I feel like that's where a lot of Republicans are at, like that, as far as like their support for Trump and this policy, is that, you know, at least he's trying to get this crime problem under control, you know?
Yeah.
But like I say, as libertarians, we're not partial to this solution.
This is, I'm curious what you think about this, and you too, if you want to chime in. Because my mom and I have this discussion all the time that, you know, the world, that we're just in a more dangerous time, that the world is in a more dangerous place. And so I don't disagree that the world is in a more dangerous place. I think that that's correct. But I think on the local level, we're safer than we've ever been.
I'd agree with that. I mean, I think the numbers bear that out. Like, I haven't looked at them like really recently, but crime overall, at least pre-COVID, I'll say that, was pre-COVID crime rates were dropping pretty sharply.
It actually moves more with economic factors than anything else.
It does.
Crime statistics do. Like the more poverty you have, the higher crime is.
Yeah. The difference is the internet and the everybody's carrying a camera around.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of the more scary stuff on, you know, like everything that happens in the United States, you see it, you know.
It's a 24-hour news cycle.
That too.
Like, if it bleeds, it leads, so you know about every little thing that went wrong anywhere.
Yeah. Well, in social media,
the worse the crime, the more attention it gets.
The algorithm spits at you whatever crazy crime happened this week or whenever. So you see it more. But I mean, overall, I mean, I also don't live in a city where a lot of things, because like you look at like San Francisco and some of these places where they just like shoplifting's just like accepted.
Yeah.
You know,
if it's less than 900 or whatever.
Yeah, you've literally got people going in to shops with trash bags, just loading stuff up.
And calculators.
Well, they don't show them with the calculator. The ones I've seen aren't using the calculator. They're just loading stuff up and walking out, and there's nothing that can be done. Like, the worst that's going to happen if the cop does show up, which they never do, is they're going to write them a ticket. There was a major
business that just pulled out of California, like a big nationwide retailer that just pulled out of California, wasn't there?
Probably, but I haven't heard
think of who
specifically which one it was, But
it was like
that's been going on.
I don't think it was Target, but it was like on the level of a Target.
A big one.
That just said, we're not doing this anymore. Or like, our margins are too low as it is. We can't make money in that state.
Yeah. Well, and we experienced this in New Orleans for the first time, but I've heard about it for years, where you go into like a drugstore or something and everything is behind the lock and key. Yeah. Like you can't just pick anything up off the shelf. So like I say, I mean, that's but that goes back to the policies of those areas. Yeah. Like, I mean, if you're not going to prosecute shoplifting, then you're going to get this, you know.
Now, the alternative argument on the crime statistics down thing is that they don't, they've redefined some of these crimes.
That's always their little ace in the pocket right there.
Like shoplifting is way down in San Francisco because they don't consider shoplifting a crime
because they don't prosecute it. Yeah.
So there, there's that possibility out there too. The other thing that I said to her, I guess it was last weekend when we were talking about this, is that, I think on the local level that you're much safer. I mean, and there's like, all parents are helicopter parents now. When I was young, mom was like, go play, don't come back till dinner.
Yeah. And I remember those times.
And we were completely independent. Yeah. During that time. Like, we rode our bikes all over the place, me and my friends. We didn't have any adult supervision at all.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
we were.
I say I remember those times, but the truth is my parents were a little more strict than the average.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have free reign to roam the neighborhood. I had specific parameters.
Well, yeah. I mean,
it was where it could be seen from every window in the house. Like it was like I was under a much tighter rope than most people I knew at that age. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like
for those of you that couldn't hear that, she said that she told the kids that if the same car drives by twice, to come inside.
Yeah. At the same time, where we're at, I mean, we don't live in a bad neighborhood, I would say, but it ain't the best either.
Yeah.
Like, and part of it is living in the age we live in now is like I've got apps on my phone that tells me where every sex offender in Baldwin County is at.
Yeah.
And when you can pull up a map and see those dots everywhere, like it makes you nervous.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that was another thing that I brought up. Now, I'll say, like, you talk about a strict household. My dad was FBI and my mom was a school teacher. Like, yeah. I didn't live in like a a real libertine household, exactly.
Yeah. But you had more freedom than I did, clearly.
Yeah. Well, you just couldn't see everything from the house.
Yeah.
Like, that was the difference. Right. But that was the other thing that I pointed out to her is like, I didn't have cell phone till I was late in high school. I think in my senior year of high school is when I got a cell phone.
Yeah.
I might not have gotten this. No, I'm pretty sure I had one my senior year of high school.
I didn't. I literally got my first cell phone during graduation, like the week of graduation.
Yeah. I might not actually have had it till college, but I think I had one my senior year.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I didn't carry it around either.
Yeah. But I think about those times when I was in high school where I drove all over the county and did all kinds of things. Never had a cell phone. If I had a problem, not really blew a tire, I guess, the car broke down or something, and my car broke down multiple times where I had to walk to a gas station to a payphone.
Yeah.
Like that was what you did.
Yeah.
Well,
so now today, every kid that's wandering pretty much has a cell phone. You have phone access to them all the time, and they have access to you. And you have all these tracking apps. Mm-hmm. So like your whole family knows where your whole family is all the time if you want, right?
Yeah.
So,
absolutely. Yeah. So somebody didn't sign up to that program in our family.
Who was that?
There's one outlier. I can give you a guess who it is.
Is he sitting across from me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. But
yeah,
got to know where your parents are at all times. I never know what they might be getting into.
I was fixing to say, quick aside, whenever this all first started, Callie went through and pinged where all of the Starbucks were in Baldwin County. So anytime any of us went to a Starbucks, she knew about it or drove by it, which was more likely, but yeah. So, the joys of technology.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that makes things safer in a lot of ways, too.
It does. But it also, in many ways, it just makes you more fearful and paranoid, too.
Yeah.
That, I don't know.
That phone hasn't moved.
Yeah, right? So.
Are they abducted and dropped their phone, or are they just high?
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I hope that this is a wake up for this country, and that the pendulum swings in the other direction. We're like, no, we aren't going to tolerate an authoritarian president.
I would hope so, but history would tell
we need to roll back government. Like I hope that that's the response to this. It's like we cannot let somebody have this kind of power. Yeah.
I hope with you, but I am just not optimistic.
Yeah.
It just always seems to go the other direction.
Which is, that Trump, he sure set up a lot of precedents that we can now take advantage of now that we're in power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whether or not they run on it or not. I mean, they may run against everything he did, but then when they get in,
what were you talking about? We're Israel. Yeah. That's what you were talking about beforehand in that regard. The younger base of these both parties, but especially the left, is is not on the side of Israel's oppression of the Palestinians.
You say especially the left. It's both sides pretty starkly. From what I
youth,
can, youth, and now,
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's
because they've been taught to understand all these power relationships.
Well, I think what it is it's just blatantly a genocide, and young people just look at that and are just like, well, I don't care what the history is. You don't get to do that.
Yeah.
Like,
I can only see so many pictures of dead children before I've had enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it does worry me as time progresses here and those young people get older. Like where is that heading as far as Israel goes? Because I don't know. It's some things are changing.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about this more. I mean, we're close to an hour now anyway.
Yeah,
so,
I was going to say, I don't know. The conversation I was wanting to have is pretty deep, and I don't know that we want to get into that.
No, we don't.
A little teaser for next week, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, what I said to you at the time is that, like, okay, well, you said the politicians have to start making decisions about whether they want the Israeli money or whether they want to get votes.
The young votes,
yeah. And I said that I don't think it's a decision. When's the last time the politicians have really shown an interest in executing what the American people want?
Yeah.
I mean, they'll pander to you in the election, but then when they get elected...
Well, and history has proven the winner on that one because, I mean, Bush, Obama, Trump, they've all ran anti-war campaigns.
Yeah.
And, I mean, just look at the history of how they presidented.
Mm-hmm. Is that a verb now?
That's what I'm using. I'm going with it. But, yeah, like, I mean, it's right there. So, yeah. And you're right. It may be no different with the Israel thing. I feel like we're in for a reckoning, though.
I think the reckoning is really going to be in the international realm.
Well,
I think that the U.S. will continue to support Israel for the foreseeable future. I think what you're looking at, the reckoning, is when the rest of the world is like, yeah, we can't tolerate this any further.
And that's where my curiosity is too, is will we have to wait for us to have that reckoning here in this country, or will the world kind of take that over? And I mean, things are going to change when Bibi leaves anyway, and Bibi is leaving. I don't see him being able to hold power over there.
Yeah, but he's proved remarkably resilient.
He has. I mean, you're not wrong about that. But
history is on his side.
History is on his side on that one. But and what comes after him would be the question. But you're right. Like I say, getting him out of there will be a tall order in itself.
Yeah.
So,
well, until next week, we'll pick that up next week.
Yeah.
There's a good one up there too. As long as you're taking pictures of my cats. All right. Well, let's see. What is next week?
Not going to be out of town, are you?
No.
That's been going on for a while, so.
No.
Seems like one of us is out of town.
I was actually kind of planning on being out of town. I don't think it was going to be next week, though. It was going to be the week after. I was going to go back to Switzerland end of October, but I think that's being moved to early next year.
Yeah.
So, well, it's definitely being moved to early next year. It's definitely not going to be in October.
Definitely not going to be next week.
Yeah. So I don't foresee any problems. I mean, this week we got there was a monkey wrench thrown, so we couldn't record yesterday. But
yeah, I think Fridays may end up being a little better though.
Okay.
In the future, anyway. It's just I've got work stuff that's weird, and Thursdays are going to get more difficult.
Well, we've had to do this before with softball season, so
it's true.
All right. Well, expect Fridays then, kind of, as the more regular day for the foreseeable future, if we have any regular day.
Yeah.
I don't know if our audience is like, regular day.
Yeah, right.
Is there a regular day to this, really?
Yeah.
But we expect to be here next week, probably Friday. And in the meantime, you can follow us on Facebook. You can subscribe on iTunes, YouTube, Podbean. Like and share, comment, subscribe. send it to your friends, etc. If you have any comments about anything we talked about or anything we hinted we're going to talk about or anything at all, really, you can always email me, michael@thelibertymike.com.
Yeah. Or post a comment on the page somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like I try
Liberty
to,
Larry looks at that stuff.
I was going to say, I make a solid effort to try to keep up with some of that. So, yeah. Hey, and maybe if you mention it in the comment, maybe we'll mention it on the podcast.
That's true.
Maybe not, but maybe.
We'll even try and give credit.
Yeah.
Bad at that because I'm so terrible with names to begin with. And
I'm the worst at the names. Yeah.
I'll have to write it down.
Yeah. It'll be in the notes.
If we plan it.
You might make the notes.
Yeah, you might make the notes. I got 2/3 of a page of notes here.
Yeah. You could be part of that.
Immortalized my notes. I do keep these notebooks when I run out of pages. I got a stack of them.
Yeah, you got a stack of Liberty Mike notes.
Yep,
write a book. Write a book one day.
Well, actually, it's funny. The main reason that I have them is because I have at least one page marked in every single one that I was like, I need to write an article about this.
Yeah.
But then,
so
haven't.
On the day you start writing articles again, you can go through your book.
Yeah. Well, I have the pages marked.
Yeah, well, good. Yeah, but you'll have to pick one.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so we'll be back next week when we finally get this right. And in the meantime, try to stay free.
Life short, live free.
Ciao.
Later.